today's lesson on animations. In today's tutorial or lesson, we are going to learn about how we can animate the letters of our name. That is, how to create animation with the letters of your name. For example, my name is Eric, so I'll be using the letters ERIC, and we'll be creating animations, very cool animations with the letters of my name. Okay, so that is what we are going to be learning today, and we'll be using Scratch desktop to help us learn about this animation. So in order to begin the animation, we first have to add our sprites, okay, to our working area. Okay, so we will not be needing the cat sprite, so we delete it. Okay, then this is how to add sprites, okay, to your working area. You just have to click on this button here, okay, and we will be working with letters, that is the letters of our name. So you click on letters, and the characters of my name is E, and I come for the second letter, which is R, then I come for the third, which is I, then I come for the fourth, which is C, making it Eric. Okay, so you can arrange it. So use the name of your alphabet, the letters that consist of your name. Okay, you must use the alphabet of your name. So if you are called Daniel, you use DANIEL. Okay, so I'm Eric, so I'll be using ERIC. So I give it enough spacing to space it out, and we'll be creating animations with these letters today for our tutorial. We can do a lot of animations, but what we'll be learning today, okay, we'll be doing zooming in and zooming out. Okay, as we move ahead in the lesson, you understand more about what I'm saying. We can also make the letters also rotate. Okay, we can also make the letters move about, like move to random positions or specific positions, then come back to the initial position. Okay, so we'll be learning about zooming in, zooming out, then we will learn about rotation, and we will learn about moving about and coming back to the initial position. Okay, so let me start with, we are going to start with the zooming in and zooming out, and to do that I'll be doing that with the letter E. So you have to click on the sprite E, okay, to select it. Then now in this area you can write your code for it. Okay, so for the zooming in and zooming out, first thing you need is, this is the motion blocks. You have the blocks here, which you have to come to the event block and drag your when clicked block. Okay, that is when this green flag is clicked, that is this green flag is clicked, then we should begin our animation. Okay, so that's what this simply means. And to create a zoom in or zoom out, you can simply do that by selecting looks, then you change the size of the letter, which is the letter E, by a specified number. Okay, so if I say change size by 10, okay, when green flag is clicked, change size by 10, this is what will happen. Watch the E. You can see the E keeps on increasing anytime I click on the when on the flag to begin my animation. Okay, you can see. Okay, so to zoom out, you can also zoom out. Since this is a positive, to zoom out you have to make the number a negative. So let's say I use -10. When I click the green flag, you can see that my alphabet is shrinking. Okay, if you want your alphabet to return to the initial position, you can just use set size to 100%. Okay, so set size to 100% brings it to its initial position, its initial size. Okay, so to zoom in, we change the size by 10. We zoom in to change the size by a specified number, that is a positive number. It can be more than 10, okay, but I'm using 10. And to zoom out, you make the number a negative, okay, and that will help you zoom out. So in order to do this repeatedly without clicking the green flag all the time, we can introduce another block, that's the repeat block. So if I say repeat, let's say repeat zooming in 10 times, okay, when I click on the flag, you see it zoomed in, it repeated the change size by 10 times, which zoomed in to this. Okay, so if I change it to zoom out, which is to -10, and I click the green flag, it takes it back to its initial position. Okay, so I can also do this, that first I want to zoom in, repeat zoom in 10 times, then repeat again, this time we are going to zoom out, okay, making the 10 negative. So when I click the green flag, okay, my E zooms in and zooms out. Okay, and if you want to repeat the zooming in and zooming out repeatedly, okay, not just one time, we can also repeat it again. Okay, we can add another repeat. Okay, let's say I want to repeat it 5 more times, not just one time. Okay, when I press the green flag, okay, I get this nice animation of zooming in and out 5 more times. Okay, I pretty much like zooming in 10 times. Okay, so let me make it 10, and I also change this repeat to 20, so it zooms in and out quite a lot. Okay, change this also to 20. Okay, then after all this, I want to change the size to 10, 100%, meaning after doing all the zooming in and zooming out, okay, I set the size to 100%. I can also set the size to 100% from the start. Okay, so when I click on zooming in and zooming out, this is the nice, we get a nice animation of zooming in and out. That's, we are zooming in and out 10 times, okay, which is a great animation. Okay, so this is basically one set of the animation we are going to learn today, which is a zooming in and zooming out. And to zoom in and zooming out and zoom out, we just have to change the size by a specified number. And if you want it to repeat, you add a repeat block to it, okay, to make it zoom in. Then if you want to zoom out, we change the number to negative, and we repeat it certain number of times, okay, to zoom in out. So this is the first part of our tutorial today, of our lesson today, learning about zooming in and zooming out. Okay, so let's go to the R. For the R, we are going to learn how to, so if you want to zoom in and out, you can use this set of code to zoom in and out. You can also modify it to behave, to choose your own pattern, okay, of zooming in and out. You don't have to follow this exactly to make it, so you can edit this to make it your own. So when we come to the R, I said the R, I want to rotate my R. Okay, I want it to be rotating. So again, I need to bring my event. Anytime you want to write a code for any of the letters, you have to remember to bring the when the flag is clicked, okay? Or else when you start your animation, that code will not apply to the specific sprite below here. Okay, so to rotate my R, all I need to do is I can say 10 at a particular angle. Okay, so if I say 10 turn 15 degree, when I click this flag here, let me click just this to see what happens. We can see that my R tilted a bit. If I click it again, it keeps on tilting. Okay, we can see. So you can make it rotate by repeating this a specified number of times. Okay, as you can see, it's rotating. Okay, but we can repeat this specified number of times, okay, to make it cooler, to make the code even simpler without clicking the green flag each time. So to do that, as you can guess, we can introduce our repeat. Okay, let's say repeat 50 times rotation. Let's see what happens when we click this flag. Okay, so we can see we can get a very nice rotation. Okay, when I click it again, okay, so I can increase it to 100. That means I want it to repeat more times, so we can see this nice rotation. But for you to get the owl to position itself as owl, the straight owl, you can just introduce the point to point in direction 90. Okay, after everything. So when I click on this, let's see the owl came back to the 90 degrees angle. Okay, so to perform rotation, you just have to repeat turning a certain number of times. Okay, so you can edit this and make it your own. You can increase the number of times it rotates also. So when I click this flag now, I'll be having both the rotation and the zooming in and zooming out. So far I've been able to animate 2 of my letters. Okay, so for my third letter, okay, I want to also zoom in and out on the I, but this time round I'll wait for a second after the E has started before I start my animation. Okay, before I start the zooming in and out for the I. And to do that, since the E and the I will be having the same code, just that I'll be waiting for 1 second, I can duplicate this code, okay, and drag it over the I and click on it. Okay, so it's picked the I, so you have to put the I back by clicking again, going back to the E and dragging the duplicate code. Okay, you have to do this 2 times to apply the code to the I. So now when I click on the I have the same code as I had for the E. So when I click on the flag, when run, you can see the E and the I are performing the same function. That's the same code. So a duplicate code from the E was added to the I. But to make it the code nicer, I can wait for a second. Okay, before the E starts, wait for a second after the E has started before starting my animation for the E, for the I. Okay, when I click run, okay, you can see the E, the I waited for the E to start before it started. Okay, the I pretty much stops too early, so let's increase the repeat to say 200. Okay, click run again. so the E stops before the I. Okay, so we learned about how to duplicate code. Okay, we've learned about how to wait. Also, we've learned how to rotate. We've learned how to zoom in and out. So for the C, okay, for the C, we want the C to be moving about, okay, on this. We want it to be moving about on the screen, okay. Then after a specified number of times it moves, I want it to come back to its initial position. Okay, so to do that, we have to write the code for it, moving about. So we bring out when the green flag is clicked. Okay, first we want it to move. If you want it to glide to a random position, okay, glide to random position. So let's click on this to see what it does. Okay, for 1 second it moves to a random position. When I click it again, you can see it move, the C move. Okay, for 1 second you can see it move. Okay, so we can repeat this several times, and to repeat that, as usual, we come to our control and bring our repeat block and put this inside. So let's say we are repeating it 10 times, and let's see what happens. We can see the C moving up, moving about on our page, okay, for 10 times. But if you realize, the C didn't get back to its original position, okay, and to do that, we can use in the motion, let's say we glide back to our initial position, which was here. So first, before you do that, when you drag the C to your initial position, you get a code called glide to the x-axis and the y-axis. So the x and the y, positive 47 on the x-axis and minus 31 on the y-axis is this position of C right now. Okay, so you can drag that below your, after the C has moved around, you can drag it below that. So after moving around, you tell it to glide using 1 second to that position, which is the initial position here. Okay, so before you even write this code, when C is in this position, you must first take this glide to this x and y axis and put it on your workspace where you are writing your code before you do your animation. Okay, so when I click on run, I get this animation, different animations of zooming in and out, rotation and gliding. Okay, I get different animations. Okay, so basically this is animation. The rest is you editing the code to make it yours.